The Burt Show on all the hits Q100.
When you look at that reality season, when you look back at it, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it or would you pass on it?
I think I would, only because where I was in my life. I don't think when you're living, in yourself and you're not able to really see what either you look like or see what you're going through, see the problems that you have, it's really difficult, to fix them, sometimes. And then you ask, like, look at Lindsay's and all these other people. They can't go to their friends and ask them, hey, and I need help or whatever, and they're going to give her an honest answer. So I was able to look on television and literally I saw all the things that happened, and it just kind of summed everything up. So I mean, I literally went into therapy after the season.
Really?
I went and I lost a bunch of weight. I just got back in shape mentally, physically, internally. It was great. Good stuff happened.
How much are you actually able to be yourself when there's cameras following you everywhere? Are you always aware of them following you when you're doing a reality show?
Yeah, you're aware of them following you, and I mean, you sign up for it, but at the same time, I say this to people because a lot of people ask me the question, like, was it real? I mean, you guys look like you hammed up to the camera a little bit and all that stuff. The fact was, I wish it was scripted more.
Yeah.
And less, because maybe it would have been a little less crazy and hectic on me.
You said you were watching it, and then after that, you had to get into therapy. Like, what were you watching where you were thinking, all right, I got to get some help in this area?
Well, I mean, I realized that I had unresolved issues of my own from my mother and father, and all the things that I had believed and grown up to love and understand, and then everything just shattered. And I literally was looking on tele, and it happened with all my brothers and sisters. They got a chance to look at themselves and be like, man, we are really screwed up. What I mean?
Everybody's going to therapy.
Yeah. So
Family sessions.
yeah. So I mean, it really put a spark, to start the healing process that I don't know if we necessarily would have.
You think fans...
intervention on yourself, because
Yeah.
most people don't get to see that.
Yeah,
but-
I wouldn't
yeah.
want to watch it. I wouldn't want to watch me
Oh, no.
my life unfold. Oh, no.
And me with my siblings, no.
It was nuts. Yeah, it was nuts, but it was good.
Yeah, no, they asked us if we all wanted to do a couple of reality shows, and what we saw Nick go through, we're like, yeah,
I scared
that's
the guys.
okay.
Yeah.
They're like,
Do you think through that, though, your fans connect with you more because of the dysfunction that they can relate
Well, they got
to you
a
in
chance
those
to
ways?
see. I mean, I've been very open. Like Howie's trying to keep his life private. I've been open because that's all I've known my whole entire life.
Right.
I've grown up. I met him when I was 12 years old. So it's like, that's all I know. I know how to be an entertainer. I know how to almost. It's almost like, how can I explain it? It's like, I guess I am one with the fans. You know what I mean? It's almost like I have a relationship with the fans. You know what I mean? And that is my relationship. A lot of times that's why my relationships don't work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because my relationship is with my fans. And then these guys too.
it's like Nick, like he was saying, like he pretty much, this is all he knows. I mean, at the age of 12 years old, I can't even imagine. Like, I was at least 19. I had went through, high school. I had already, graduated 2 years of college and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of like, okay, what's reality and what's not. Like when him jumping into this at 12 years old, I couldn't even imagine, what you even grasp as reality and stuff like that.
So Nick, when you're older, let's look into the future, right? And you're not single anymore, and you're married, and you have kids, and your kid comes to you and says, "You know what? I'm thinking about getting into the entertainment industry. He's 13 years old. What advice are you going to give him?"
Nick doesn't want to get
Or her.
married.
I don't believe in marriage.
All right, when you're 55.
And being Hugh Hefner.
Right now, I don't. I was.
That means
it's funny. I think Howie scared me. All these guys in this group are scaring me.
He sees us all
I'm
dropping
like-
like flies around us. He's like, oh, God.
The dropping, man.
You know how
my buddies are gone.
fiance is losing her mind at the fact that he's out with Nick alone for like 2 weeks doing promotion
they hate me.
with the
They
guy
don't
who
like
doesn't
me.
They don't
believe
like
in
you.
marriage.
Keep
He's
Nick
like,
away
oh, God.
from the
Call
family.
every 5 minutes. Are you all right?
You really don't
Yeah.
believe there's one person out there for you? Like marriage is not going to be for you?
Not right now. I don't know how I'll feel
He's
in years
young,
to
though.
come.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was 27, I wasn't thinking it. That was like the furthest thing from my mind. But
You
I
know,
told him, I said, one day it'll change for you. Something will snap. You'll
Wise.
get tired
Be
of
like,
all
I'm
that
old.
craziness.
Now hindsight is 2020. You talk about House of Carters, and you talk about just your past experience and how you entered the band when you first got there. You have the unique experience now about going back into it and doing it with your eyes wide open, and you know exactly what to expect. What is the one thing you're doing differently this time going into this tour than you did the first time?
I mean, I think this time around, kind of like what you were saying, is that, I think we've grown a lot as a group. I mean, in the early days, we were just like, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't understand, what to think of in the future. Even like when it came boiling down to like simple, plain things of like contracts and legal stuff and knowing, it was just like, we were kids in a candy store. We were like on this roller coaster ride that was just going 100 miles. We were just trying to keep a hold of it. I think now that we've had a chance to take a couple breaks here and there and do it a little bit more of a, sane pace and stuff like that, this time around, I think we're a little bit more appreciative. First of all, we understand the business a lot more, especially since the business has changed so much since the time that we were at a height of everything, with, coming out the first week's million sales and stuff like that. I mean, that was the time era that we went through that we don't know if it will ever be there again like that. So now it's like we had to really take a step back and really like learn, actually me and Nick the other day when we were talking to some of these radio programmers and learning the BDS reports and stuff like that, and listening and following what's about ads. And, I think we get it a lot more now than we did before. And I think
you just come up to the station, you've got like $1,000, you give it to me, and I play the single.
That's
how it all
illegal.
works.
That's what we found out just
right?
recently.
I don't know. Give
We
us
got the truck in the
$1,000
back
and we'll all
with the-
find out together.
Right.
So let's talk about, these guys are all here to bowl with you, so let's, get you guys on the lanes. But let's talk about the new CD. Like, how is it going to be different? What's the sound now? You guys happy with the way it all came out? Tell us about it.
Well, we're still working on it. The first song, Inconsolable, was great because I think that it just. I mean, we had had another single picked with the record company, and then this song came in, and we were like listening to it over and over again. We were like, wow, there's something really familiar and good about this song, and then it just clicked, and it just felt like a Backstreet Boy song. It felt like one of those melodies in the songs that you have to listen to over and over again, and you don't get sick of it. And I was like, so that's why we went with that single. The whole entire, we love it. I mean, I absolutely love that song. I think it's one of the coolest songs since like More Than That or I Want It That Way, A Shape of My Heart, that we've done in a long time. Going back to the roots, what we're best at doing, and singing big choruses and stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it. But then also the album itself, we're still recording. And, I mean, it's funny, we just got done recording. I mean, we're trying to outdo ourselves on this album. And every album, but this one in particular, when compared to Never Gone, I think we had just come back from like a 4-year hiatus or 5-year of not even doing an album, and trying to find our place in music nowadays was one of those things we were just trying to do, and then we had all these other things against us and stuff. So this album, I think, is starting to fit that pocket, starting to come back into place where I think what Backstreet Boys do best. I mean, we got dance songs on the record, and true Backstreet. I mean, we just recorded a song the other day with JC from NSYNC, and I think our minds are open for the possibility of just great music, and we just want to have music that we can perform on, because we're a touring band. We want to get on the road. We want to put these extravagant shows on like we did back in Millennium and Black and Blue days. So I think the album overall is I think we got a couple more songs definitely to record, but it's going to be amazing, and we're really excited about it.
Is the sound significantly affected by the change in the band? Obviously, one less band member.
Believe it or not, I think a lot of people thought that it was going to, sound a little bit, less fuller, or a little bit more empty sounding. But I think always in the past, we always, believe it or not, we never had just 5-part harmony on any of the songs. We always had, somewhere between 8 to 10, part harmonies and stuff like that. So it's maybe just a little bit less, but I think to the common ear, you're not going to really hear that much of a, Kevin was the probably out of all of us was more of the bass. And but AJ's range is very close to Kevin. There was times in the past where AJ would actually even cover Kevin's part.